bartenders, 20%. No droids, no bystanders, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Acolyte fans, or anything like that. Why? Okay, whatever. I'm trying to find a spot to talk to you guys, and I can't really do that. I'm gonna have to go back out here. Anyway, so today, StarWars.com announced that Star Wars Games and Skydance are getting together to create a new adventure. Skydance. Who runs Skydance? John Lasseter. All right, this is kind of a big deal in my opinion. They're bypassing the company that High Republic game Eclipse is being created by. I don't think that game's going to happen now. I really think that they're. I think even the people that like High Republic are bored with it. Okay, I can't speak for Adam Lance Garcia, Brian Young, or anybody else, but I think they're bored with it now. Anyway, so yeah, Skydance and Lucasfilm Games. Interesting little thing. It was announced on StarWars.com. Again, Leslie Headland added a health and safety officer to the IMDb Pro page for The Acolyte. Again, I want you guys to remember, she needs to name a director. Okay. It's supposed to start filming in 11 days. There should have been a director named last year. Okay. And even then, look at what JPEG did. Beauty and the Beast prequel or sequel or whatever it's supposed to be. They canceled it right as it was going to begin filming. Okay, nothing. There's been no rumors, nothing since all those videos were leaked to Christopher Rufo, Howdy Man Piranha from Disney. There are some interesting other things going on. They announced that they are re-theming Tarzan's Treehouse at the parks. And I want you guys to pay attention to this. You got Tarzan's Treehouse. You've got Indiana Jones. And then on the other side, you got Galaxy's Edge. They're re-theming it. They haven't said what they're going to re-theme it as. I'm watching that carefully. Hey, Misha. Well, I don't either. I'm watching it, Misha, because strictly for one reason, and one reason only. That the moment they say it's canceled, it's done, they're not doing it. And look, Headland has got other things she's working on that are further along. So I don't know why she keeps going back to this. It's kind of weird, but, she likes girls, so she's weird. I think that she's doing it probably out of the fact that she's an activist, okay? And she was given a budget, so she's just throwing shit at it, hoping Chapek bows before Kennedy and says, okay, we'll give it a go-ahead. But you gotta understand, we haven't heard anything about anything. Long time. Not from her, not from Disney on that show. And nothing about Kennedy. Okay, nothing. I think Kathleen's little, her last hooray for her, sorry to say it, was probably last October. Last October. Okay, that was it. That interview, she got her first Life Achievement Award from the Producers Guild. I really do believe she's on her way out. And to Matthew Kadish, you really don't know what you're talking about. Okay, hey, Code Raven. I think Obi-Wan is going to be great. That trailer looked spectacular. To the people who don't think it is, what the fuck do you want? What do you want? All right. The good thing about Star Wars fans is that we're fans. Yo, Planet Musk. The bad thing about Star Wars fans is that there's a group of us that are just miserable human beings. Okay. I don't know. It's just it's Lucas Games and Skydance. So, could we see Lucasfilm be merged with Skydance? I don't know. Um, you know, this thing I'm talking about though with retheming the Tarzan's treehouse, it's right next to Indiana Jones, and on the other side, there's Galaxy's Edge. And when I look at the pictures, when you look at the pictures of that part of the park in Hollywood Studios, and this is at Disneyland, by the way. Okay, didn't say anything about Disney World, but if they do it at Disneyland, they'll probably do it at Disney World. I would say that we're going to see an overhaul in that part of the park. And I wouldn't doubt it. It seems to me like they may have more room at one of the other parks to do something completely different. I mean, I know that there's a wall behind Indiana Jones and it has all kinds of Star Wars like writing on it that just absolutely goes to nowhere. So there's actual physical evidence that they were actually gonna do the OT and the prequels. Keep your eyes open. They haven't said what it's gonna be, but I really believe that to give Star Wars a proper treatment, one or both of the parks in the US has got to basically get itself overhauled. And then the other one can follow with getting rid of the sequel trilogy and getting rid of any vestige that Kennedy was there. So, I mean, again, I don't know what they're planning on doing with it. But to me, it just makes a lot of sense, okay, that they would go a different route with Star Wars and Tarzan's Treehouse. I mean, I looked at it and I go, if you did this, this, and this to that part of the park, it looks like Endor. Okay. And who lived in trees high above the ground? Ewoks. There you go. Anyway, we'll just have to see. We'll just see what it is. I thought it was an interesting little bit of speculation to put out there to think about. What else is going on? Really, they've put more information about what's going on at Star Wars Celebration and how many people are going to show up. But really, there's nothing going on. I mean, it's really funny. No one from the sequels is showing up as of right now. We have a little over a month to go, so we'll see. No panels for the High Republic to get a booth. It's just going to be very interesting. And John and Dave, I'm going to say this, I don't think Kennedy will show up. I really, really don't. They're giving John and Dave an entire thing to themselves. This is huge, okay? And to me, it says something. And I'm still holding on belief that Jon Favreau is going to be named head of Lucasfilm. That's my opinion. I know everyone's like, he just likes to make movies. Yeah, no one says he couldn't, jump in and be an executive producer for something else. I mean, George Lucas was executive producer for several things. What are you doing down there? I got a dog sitting underneath my dining room table. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward. There's going to be a lot of interesting things coming down the pike. And the fact that, I'm going to tell you something. No woke panels, no shipping panels, nothing like that. I really honestly think in 2018 that stuff, it was like when a person gets sick, they get a bacterial infection. And the part where they're the sickest is when their fever's highest. It's almost like everything goes bzzz, and then everything kind of, the illness kind of goes away. That's what 2018 was to me. Okay. We live in such a vastly different world now that I really don't see the same people causing the same problems that they did in 2018. I'm hoping that Rebel Force Radio gets a panel, gets a chance to do their thing there. You know, the 2018 when they wanted to go out and do something and had a panel, and Jason Ward's ex-wife Amanda, who allowed herself to be used in a fraud, internet fraud, by the way, by her ex-husband, led a crusade against Rebel Force Radio because they're saying there are too many women in Star Wars. As a woman, I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, it's just really interesting to me because those bitches and C words got those guys launched, got them got basically ended that panel, but we had a shipping panel. You know, and it's like, so I really, first off, I don't think the interest for that shit's there anymore. You do see Raylos occasionally pop their, you know, pimple-faced heads up, but really they don't, they're really not around anymore as much as they used to be. It's just really interesting to me that you ate that? Dog, he just, all right. A Kleenex fell to the floor and he ate it. So we shall see how long this lasts before he either throws it up or has the runs for the next 2 hours. Idiot. Anyway, but we'll see where this goes. Again, I think a lot of people don't realize how vastly different the world is right now. You know, we've got this. Breitbart.com posted a huge headline today that Florida is exploring taking away Disney's special rights, the Reedy Creek Improvement Act. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, just listen to me. That's a lot of leverage that JPEG can use with the board and the shareholders to say, we have got to get rid of these woke people because they're causing us a lot of trouble. Okay. It's you know, so we'll see what happens. But I do believe that this kind of feeds into his hand. I really, really do. I really believe that. You know, it's, you know, his philosophy is, I don't want to make local governments an enemy. And these vile, disgusting females in those videos, and that fat, balding little fuck guy made Ron DeSantis and millions of parents enemies of Disney. Right? And that, it doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't do Disney any good at all. And now apparently we still have protests going on. Yes, this is Kojak's tale. We still have protests going on outside the gates at Disney World. I'm not sure if they're going on at Disneyland, but attendance is down from, you know, I don't know. I haven't seen any official reports, but that shit that went down and what those people did, these woke LGBTQ plus, you know, pedos did, there you go. I mean, it's really, it boggles the mind. But you know, so we've got that going on now. Let's talk a little bit about Depp versus Heard. So yesterday and today, Johnny Depp's security guard, Sean Betts, took the stand. The guy's a former police officer, so he's a no bullshit man, and basically totally sunk her case. Totally sunk her lies. Just took a torpedo to him. He was cross-examined and redirected, and you know, so they get a friend of Depp's, and I gotta tell you, Amber Heard's the older female lawyer. Oh God, she's just a dried up. She's like a piece of dehydrated, old, stale bread, and she's just awful. And watching this, and ah, but it's been interesting, and I do predict that he's gonna beat this. I don't, and I'm gonna tell you this. I am not gonna say that he's going to get all the money that he wants, $50 million. But I predict he gets about 3/4 of it. Okay. The jury can decide what damages to award him. Okay. And I don't think he's going for 50 million. That's just, I think, a number they pulled out of their asses. What he's trying to do is save his name. Okay. He's not a saint. He likes to drink. He likes drugs. He's an addict. He, you know, has looked for help. But when you look at the evidence, she seemed like the cause of a lot of this really toxic bullshit. And you know, I guess he's gonna testify today and probably continue tomorrow. We'll have to see. It's going to be very interesting watching this go forward, but I want you guys to understand this is huge. Misha, I don't know. I think that panel may be shown on YouTube. You know, they could have it on Star Wars Plus, but honestly, I don't know. I think if I were you, I will go to YouTube and maybe I'll figure out how to do it, and I'll do a watch along. Everybody can just come here and we'll watch it together to see what they say. It's fascinating that Kennedy is completely like, she could show up. All right, I'm telling you right now. Don't get your hopes up that she won't. But the fact of the matter is, I see no evidence of her anywhere right now. All right. You know, and we're gonna have to just watch as it goes along. My opinion is, we're going to get a lot of really interesting news coming out. And I've said this before, I'll say this again. I wouldn't doubt that her resignation or retirement is announced. Just to me, with all the crap that's gone down with Indiana Jones, there you go. Mads Mikkelsen, I did a video about this, said he couldn't believe how insanely powerful an actor Harrison Ford is. Then he went on to, you know, the bike riding and all that in another sense. Now, what does that mean? He's a physically powerful guy. Yeah, for a guy his age, yeah, he is. But what else does it mean? All right. We could be looking at him as basically getting rid of her. getting her kicked out because this isn't her movie. She imagined it would be her movie, and Bob Iger wanted that to be her movie, and she went about it as if it was her movie, hiring Phoebe Waller-Bridge, la-di-da. Then Doomcock posted the rumors, and we'd heard those rumors before, but then he came and actually did put that out there, and then that October, the rumors came out in the Daily Mail. You know, we're YouTubers. I'm gonna tell you something. Those people hate us. They hate us. Mainstream media hates us. Daily Mail's part of the mainstream media. Where'd they get it? They didn't go to Doomcock. All right. Somebody inside said, "This is what she's doing," and then gave them everything, and they went, "We'll just put this out there." And immediately, the movie was pushed back a year. Because if any of that was true, and I've said this before, I'll say this again, if any of that was true, no, okay, that's how bad the ideas that were explicitly talked about in those movies are, okay? That's how bad they are. No. So my thing is this. We may get a teaser for Indy, but I don't know. Mangold is in the process of editing it now with his editors. There probably are going to be reshoots just to tweak everything up, but I don't think after that article showed up in October that Kennedy, had any creative control over what went on. Okay. And I think her husband was like, "Okay, fine, Harry, do whatever you want." Look, we have a very strange relationship going on here between Kennedy and Frank Marshall. Okay. It is a very, very strange relationship. I don't, they've got 2 kids, 2 girls, but I'm not, you don't, look, I know Leslie Zemeckis, and I think it would be a great time, Amisha, and I'm gonna try to figure that out. I don't think they do anything together anymore, but like Leslie Zemeckis, every time you go on Instagram, she posts a picture. Her husband, Robert Zemeckis, who's part of that group, is taking the picture. They do everything together. Okay, so you can have a Hollywood marriage and still be crazy about each other. There's something bizarre going on. And I'm sorry, I'm on Team Marshall. I like him. I think Frank is a great guy. Frank is a nice guy. He's a sweet guy. But there's something odd. There really, really is, and I can't. And I shouldn't be speculating. It's none of my business. But when you look at what was going on with Indiana Jones 5 and everything, and we don't know nearly the story behind all of it, it's got to make you go, you know what I'm saying? Because it makes me go, and why? Spielberg's not there, hands-on. George is probably getting an executive producer credit and a writing credit because he created the character, but the only person who's there who knows what it's supposed to be like and look like and feel like is Harrison Ford. And my money's on him saying enough is enough. You know, I told people before, I think he slow rolled that injury to slow everything down. So he could push her out. And I think he did. Um, I think she ran into I mean, look, the man has a reputation of being extremely stubborn. She ran into the immovable object. I mean, boom, and we'll see. We'll see. Do I have hopes for it? Of course I do. I think the people that don't, I think they're just looking at something to be miserable and they want to hate everything. I think that it's virtue signaling on their part. There are a lot of people out there in the world that I think would give something a chance and say it, but they're afraid that the cool kids will say, "You're nuts. It's not going to be good," without based on rumors and things like that. Okay, and that's the problem that this movie Indy 5 is going to have is this. Okay, and it's just something that I think a lot of people are just gonna. I mean, that want this movie to do well are gonna have to just suck up. I did see the Batman. I cannot believe how fucking bored I was. Bored, bored, bored. It's a borehole. What the fuck? All right, Pattinson. He takes off his shirt and it's like, people bitched about Christian Bale. Christian Bale actually took the fucking part seriously. Okay. I mean, and then Zoe Kravitz, worst Catwoman ever. Worst. Somewhere Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, and Michelle Pfeiffer are kicking her in the ass. Okay. It just, no. No, 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 no. The Riddler, why? I'm sorry, but the first Batman movie should have, in my opinion, the Joker. Okay, Batman Begins, the Nolan first offering from Nolan didn't have the Joker, and it wasn't as good. The moment Heath Ledger shows up in the face paint, then you got a movie. Okay, then it becomes real. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of people are saying they didn't think that Joker deleted scene should have been in this movie, and I think it should have. And the reason is this: it would have given us an idea that there's a lot more going on than we know, and it might have actually made it more interesting. Okay, and I think Gagan did a good job from what we could see. Okay, I do. I think he did a good job. People get upset about, him and Leto, and even Joaquin Phoenix mimicking Heath Ledger. That was it. Heath Ledger is the standard now. Okay, I don't know where you take the character from there. Okay, he basically hit every note, and he didn't play it campy, stupid, overrated like Jack Nicholson. Okay, to Anthony and Gruber, I am not a fan of Jack Nicholson. Don't get mad at me. Okay. It just doesn't, I didn't like Batman, that movie, 1989. I loved The Dark Knight. I thought it was fantastic. Because, look, if you can get something like that away from the camp and away from the obvious comic book stuff, it kind of is cool. Who was it? I can't remember. One of the guys, I think it was actually Daniel Knopf, who is a screenwriter I know on Facebook, was talking about the movie and then saying something about comic book movies. And I said, I thought it was boring. I thought this movie was boring. And then when Miss Frau Kravitz, horked out the white male privilege bullshit line, I turned it off. it it's not the fact that it was too dark, but there's something lacking in it. And you're watching this, and you don't. To me, I didn't feel like there was any real worry there, real concern. You know what I mean? Real something to worry about. So I wasn't really impressed with it. Okay, there weren't any stakes. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the people that were getting killed. And in fact, at one time I watched it. I was watching and going, I actually agree with the Riddler. These people suck. All right, you know, it was stupid. Okay, it was just okay. So there you go. So yeah, I suffered through it as far as I could get. I was like, that's it. But as far as Star Wars goes, we've got a game being developed by Lucas Games and Skydance. Okay, this is a big deal, and it's a game, so it's not like a animated series. Which, if it was, I'd be like, but still, it is worth discussing and holding on to. The new theming for Tarzan's Treehouse might be very interesting going forward. No word about what's going on inside Disney. Kathleen Kennedy speculation is there's nothing out there right now. Nothing. Okay. It's just real quiet. And I think it's some people have said since the SJWs had a meltdown at Disney, all four of them or five or how many of them are, a lot of sources have gone quiet. I don't really. I mean, there could be lots of reasons why, but considering that, word on the street is that the message boards, employee message boards inside Disney are filled with this woke shit's gotta stop. I don't think there's anything to worry about. There's Disney's going to go through a transition right now, and that I think is beginning. Okay, and the Zaslav ascendancy to the throne at Warner Brothers is a big reason why this may happen a lot quicker than we know. Okay, this is a big deal. All right, and they're all watching. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, DC is getting an overhaul. How long before we hear Star Wars getting an overhaul? Is it already getting an overhaul and we just have too many black pills among us not to notice it? Okay? Again, there's a lot of money in outrage porn. A lot of it. All right? And I got another thing to say. We have people on the right, and I consider myself a libertarian populist. So that, in lots of ways, makes me further on the right than a conservative. And I used to consider myself conservative ever since I was a kid. All right, to me, it meant being patriotic, supporting the military, supporting the police, basically being a decent citizen, believing in God, la, la, la. But it didn't mean to stop being interested in the culture, to stop being interested in movies, to stop being interested in music, to stop being interested in writing. And the last 20 years, since, since Andrew Breitbart started Breitbart.com, still a lot of people who are just on the right, who are just angry at Hollywood. You could, and a lot of them are not even aware of who some of these people are. Here's the deal. If Jim Caviezel hadn't played Jesus, okay, hadn't been the lead actor in The Passion of the Christ, they would hate him because he's an actor in Hollywood. Make any sense? You show him a picture of Mark Wahlberg. Oh, that movie had swearing in it and blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up. Shut up, Karen. Just shut up. Okay. Show him a picture of Johnny Depp. And immediately you get the accusations of child molestation, drug abuse, and all the, typical. Hey, Maze. Oh, well, I think I already did. I'm kind of on a rant right now. But here's the deal. We've got people on our own side wanting it to be us against them with the stuff at Disney and the stuff in Florida. We've got people on the other side who want it to be us against them. In my opinion, there's what's important is lost. The thing going on is it's about the culture, making it vibrant. Again, I've said this before. If the right had control of Hollywood, we would get Pollyanna, a different shade of gray than we've got now. We've got a shade of gray. Okay. It would just be a different shade. There wouldn't be anything of substance being made. Okay. People on both sides make each other pariahs. And then they make normal people pariahs. All right. Because, I can say you're a groomer, but I can tell somebody on the right, no, that guy's a decent guy. You're being judgmental, and I'm the one in trouble on both sides. All right. That's wrong. And it hurts the culture. Well, the thing about it is, it's like this. When you hear Alex Jones has to file bankruptcy, good, good, good. Okay. I think the viewers and listeners of Joe Rogan get more out of his little podcast than any people ever got out of Alex Jones. Okay. Why? Because unlike Alex Jones, Joe Rogan is intellectually curious. We have people on both sides of the aisle that are terrified of information if it contradicts what they believe. This is why, hi Kojak, this is why our culture is in such a shithole. This is why people like, J.J. Abrams can get away with making trash, even though I'm going to say this. I think his deal with Warner Brothers is dead. Okay, I don't think that David Zaslav is going to go through with it. And the reason why is because I think that David Zaslav sees him for what he is. He's a little politician. That's it. He's a little cancerous politician who leaves droplets of bullshit in every franchise he's ever had his fingers on. Star Trek, Alex Kurtzman in Hidden Room or whatever. You forget regarding Henry. Then we get to, the Michelle Redjuan that he left at Lucasfilm. But when you look at her, she really didn't have. I don't think she has a lot to say about anything going on at Lucasfilm. I don't. Maybe that's a good thing. But, Lord of the Rings at Amazon, that's his two little buddies are there. So you gotta think, okay, why should Warner Brothers, who's looking at Phil you need to be patient, okay? You need to stop. Because, you know, look, I wish they would too, but that's childish expectations, okay? It's not going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, Don, I think in some ways too, but I don't really know if the SJW backlash started at Lucasfilm. I think it started when basically Chapek said, we're not going to fight our fans anymore. You have to understand, there are people at Disney that hate the customers. I don't, Phil, stop going to those channels. I don't fucking care what they think. Okay, they can fuck themselves. Okay? They can. I don't care what these people think. You all right? Again, what do I say about rage porn? Stop watching it. Stop. Why? Because it's going to get you all wound up for no reason at all. You know, I've said this before, I'll say this again. YouTube is filled with a lot of people with YouTube channels that don't have a fucking clue. You know, and they don't know what they're talking about. They don't give a shit either. They're not intellectually curious. They don't have any life experience. All right? They don't have any experience outside of their little fandom. They really don't. A lot of these people have made livings off of their fandom, which is fine. But don't start talking politics. And I don't mean, Republican versus Democrat. I'm talking about politics as war by other means. Okay? Because that's what it is. Don't start talking about that kind of shit. That dirty, underhanded, Machiavellian shit if you don't know anything about it. Okay? And don't sit there and attack people who do. Okay? All right? I've seen it in real life. I've seen it on Capitol Hill. I've seen it within the federal government. Okay? I've seen it within a presidential administration. All right? If you honestly think when the president gets there and he puts together his cabinet that all those people are best friends, they're not. They hate each other. Okay? And there's always a way to outmaneuver somebody else. But a lot of these people don't have the intellectual capability to understanding that. And I'll tell you something. There are people out there every day, even at the Stop and Shop, that pull Machiavellian bullshit on their fellow employees. Okay? That's just what they do. And the stuff going on at Disney, that's exactly what this is. These people think Chapek has been outmaneuvered. Yeah, Don, I think, yeah, see, and that, but I'll tell you, there are a lot of people out there, subscribers, who, not my subscribers, but there are a lot of people in chats that I go from one thing to another, I go everywhere. And like watching the Amber Heard trial, there are a lot of really juvenile, childish people who you can have trial lawyers in a panel and they're talking and the chat's not listening to what they're saying. Okay. These people get a head start from the black pill channels. Okay. And I think a good thing right now is if Alex Jones has to, do his time being, having to do a bankruptcy thing. Why? Because I think every voice is important, but there are too many people out there who have taken him and run with it. And there are times like when Joe Rogan had him on, you know, I was looking at, I was like, why? Why would you? I mean, the guy just, he's appalling. You know, these guys, he was right. Right about what? He's taking stuff other people are saying and say he said it first, which is what he did. There's nothing right about that. He's just, and, you know, he's said so many outrageously dumb things. But I'm going to say this. Any channel aligning themselves with him, you know, I can't be part of it. Okay. The guy got a karmic blowback. And I'll tell you something else. He does not help the right, not even a little bit. Okay. We need people that are intellectually curious and honest like Andrew Breitbart. Okay. Those are the kinds we need. People who don't deal in outrage. Breitbart didn't. And the reason why the left in Hollywood and in politics are so afraid of him is because they knew he was right. And they knew they couldn't make him look like a loon. They couldn't. They couldn't. When you saw him interviewed, he was calm, he was discerning, he was rational. You know, his head's not exploding all over like Alex Jones. Okay, he was genuine. All right, he was authentic, and that's what I think we need. He was also an actual real liberal. All right. A lot of people will say all liberals are leftists, and no, they're not. The word liberal has been shanghaied by the left to make them look more agreeable. But they're not, you know, they're not liberal. I mean, Pablo Hidalgo is a Puritan. He's a left-wing Puritan. His wife is a left-wing Puritan. You know, well, I don't think Disney will ever sell Lucasfilm. Why would they? You know, I think 2 years ago would have been the time to do it. All right. But I don't think they are now. I think that the Pixar thing makes more sense. It really, really does. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna go to the store. I gotta grab something for dinner tonight. And you guys be good. You guys be safe. Anything else goes on, I will be back. Anyway, I'll see you guys around the galaxy. And y'all behave. See you later.